So I know you mostly play Bastion in this clip, but I just want to point out something that's happening here. So you're kind of doing something that's called poke at the choke, where you kind of just hang out in front of with the choke area. And the thing about Lucio here is his number one thing is his speed, not his heal. His primary utility should be consider you should consider it his speed, not his heal. So when you're at a choke like this as Lucio, what you want to do is speed people into position, not necessarily just speed yourself out of harm's way. Like especially because you have a Brig and a Roadhog, like you want to just like help your teammates get to where they want to go. Um, so yeah, like honestly, you can rank up probably all the way to gold just by playing Lucio and speed boosting a Reaper or Brig or Roadhog to wherever they want to go. You just follow them around as Lucio and just speed boost when they're trying to like cross a long, long gap or something. Bam, bam, ba-dum, bam, bam, ba-dum. So you got the Bastion swap now. Let's see, do you press... So I'm trying to get a feel of what your comp is. So I think you got guys trying to fill. You got a Reinhardt, Roadhog, Brig, I think, and Ash. So that's a workable comp. But let's see what happens here. So right now you're going with the Roadhog on the left flank. Going up the stairs, I've had that happen to me. And then you have Ash. He should die. Yep. He did get the bob off though, which is pretty important. Like I can't tell you the number of times that I have like tried to focus down an Ash and then have her like pop the bob out last second just before she dies. It can be really frustrating. So you got your whole team still alive pretty much. You got 2 picks and you only lost your Ash. You only lost your Ash. So this is a perfectly winnable fight as long as you're able to take out that Bob. But you just lost your Rhine. Self-destruct's going off. Yeah, and you had a D.Va shooting it. Oh yeah, D.Va and Road. So they're playing double off tank, which can be a whole lot of damage, especially to a Bastion. Just going back to see what happened here. Yeah, this fight really was not your fault. There wasn't much you could do here. Like even if that D.Va wasn't shooting you in the back, the Roadhog would have hooked you. So that's just, yeah, there's your comp. Okay. Alright, yeah, that's... No actual healers, but, you know, it happens. Yeah, there really wasn't... From what I saw, there really wasn't much that you could do there. Just go again. Now this is a map that definitely favors Bastion. Hanging out in D.Va's room. So, okay, so every capture point has 3 lanes. They have more or less. They have left, center, and right. and mild variation on high ground and stuff between each one. So when you're playing Bastion, you usually do not want to go main or center because that is a low ground route, and Bastion always wants to be relatively far from the action and wants to shoot down at enemies from afar. So you kind of put yourself in a bad spot by going main and going into this little what's it called, like a hangar area. And the spot that you've picked out isn't doing you any favors either. Like, in this position, you can only get value out of Bastion if your opponent messes up. That's the only way you can get value out of Bastion in this spot. So, because like in this spot, like this, you can even see when the Ash spots you right here. You can see through the window, but you can't even shoot back at them. The Ash spots you, and you're functionally cornered. So like the hiding in a hole strategy of Bastion can work, but it's not. But it usually relies on the enemy making mistakes, just like stepping in front of you and not realizing you're there, which they should if they know that they're going up on a Bastion and they don't see you on high ground. But even in other maps where like that strategy usually works, that whole area to hide in isn't good on this map at all, because you can't even see the whole point. Like, usually, the reason that strat works on other maps, especially like Numbani, the reason that works is because you can see the whole map, or you can see the whole point when you're hiding in that hole. So when the enemy team moves onto the point, you can just mow them down with a surprise. It's functionally a surprise flank that the enemy just puts themselves in. So yeah, not a fan of this spot. So good kill on the Zen. A bit of a scrappy fight. Yeah, again, I can't really stress how valuable high ground is for Bastion, especially on this point. You like going left, you're literally going the worst route you can take as Bastion. You definitely want to go high ground on the left side or the right side, just so that you're far enough away and can still, kill people. The two things, so like this is like the crux of positioning in Overwatch. The two questions that you always want to ask yourself when you're playing Overwatch is, are you safe and can you do your job? Are you safe? Can you avoid damage, and can you get kills? You want to find the most ideal position where those two factors can apply. Pretty ocean. And you're probably aware of this, but you always want to be aware of how the fight is going once you engage. Like, by the time you start shooting, you've already lost 1, 2, and 3. You are down 3 people by the time you start shooting. At this point, unless you massively clutch out, and I don't think you are going to with your muzzle literally shooting into the ground here. I think the line of sight is still connecting, but it's not a good spot. But yeah, you are down through. So unless you're able to like clutch out 3v6, just get the fuck out and try again. Yep, there goes your hog. So now It's just the Lucio's just hanging out with you. Not much to do. You do get the Hog to ult you, which honestly that can be valuable sometimes in a losing fight, just forcing out ults. Yeah, now a pretty hard stagger has started. Here Hanzo pops his ult, gets the Zen. And the Hanzo dies for it. You pop ult. See, now that's actually in awkward situations when the fight has already began and you're just coming back to the point. If you make the decision to go in even when you're down like this, like your Hanzo got a pick, so maybe you can actually clutch this out. Coming straight onto point with your ult like this, that is actually can work out to be a pretty good play because you're just going to the point immediately with a high value ability happening. And your Rein got the pin. Yeah, Ash's Bob is an ultimate that a lot of people are still struggling to figure out how to deal with. And yeah, like when this D.Va dives you, like that's the point when you just give up. Yeah, you got a Hog here too. You had a Reaper to take care of him, but you do not want to be in that close of range when you're fighting as Bastion. You just don't want to do it. If you can't make a long line of sight that you can shoot down, you just want to get out of there. Just get the hell out of Dodge. Looks like your teammates are clutching this out. The enemy Zen wastes his ult. Good kill. I'm pretty sure. You see, now you're on high ground. See, this is a good spot. Very good spot to be in. You're able to look down on the point. You're far away, so like when people want to put resources into killing you, they have to cross a pretty long distance in order to kill you. Especially like this D.Va has to like use her boosters, leave the point, and come get you to kill you. So you're functionally free to just like shoot down and clean up the fight. It's a very good spot to be in up here. And also with that Moira, I'm pretty sure you saw the fade happen. You get the kill on the soldier and then you try to kill the Moira, but then she fades and you lose her and you're looking for her, but she actually just ulted the point. So just it takes practice, but just keep in mind like the sound cues. Like you know that the Moira just ulted by hearing that, so she's back on the point. Just a small thing there. Now that fight was a little scrappy because you lost 2 people to your to the enemy D.Va that you killed. So you're functionally at four people on this point right now. So with that in mind, you generally do not want to be too far ahead in your positioning. You don't want to be like towards the enemy spawn because you're naturally down a few people because they're still coming from your spawn pretty far away. So like you would want to be positioned a little more safer. Yeah, like your whole team is actually like coming to them. Yep, and then your Rein dies. Your Rein is frustrating me because he's not playing with you at all. Like Bastion gets so much more value if he can get a shield on his line of sight, because then like your enemy has a Roadhog and he's gonna hook you, isn't he? Because your Reinhardt, if he shields you, like you're safe from the Roadhog's hook. When the Rein is not playing with you, like the enemy Hog gets a free hook on you and can functionally kill you on his own, which I think is what we're about to watch here. Yep. Like a good Hog player, like even a decent Hog player, will know that you are the highest priority threat on your team. So, and that hog is going to know that the Ryan is not playing with you. So he knows he has a free hook on you, and he's going to basically hunt you down pretty much every fight. Now, your two options to deal with that are either play with your Reinhardt and have him shield you, which, takes teamwork and coordination and stuff, so can be hard to do. Or you can play in a conservative position out of range of his hook, but still able to shoot down on enemies. So, like, here would probably be a good spot right here, up on that bridge, or far back in that corner high ground, like where you were before, like right here, but further to the right, so that you're out of hook range when that Roadhog spots you. You always want to be out of range of that hook, especially if you don't have a shield. Okay, hopefully I can edit that out. Squiggling the thing for sync. I got a janky setup here. I'm at work. I'm gonna be interrupted sometimes. My mic is shit, Like I wanted to like do this with my studio at home, but I was excited, Wanted to get this done. So yeah, this again, can't stress how helpful high ground is to Bastion, especially on this point, because you can just shoot down at it. You're just a little too far to the left on this spot because this wall here is blocking off that portion of the point. Other than that, this is a great spot. It's too bad that you that you kind of just it is a little bit of an overextension to go where you got hooked here. Because yeah, right here I get that you're waiting for the fight to break out, but you're just too far forward as Bastion in this spot because the Roadhog just moves in, hooks you, and you die. That is definitely something that you don't want to do, is be too far forward as Bastion. So, okay, that fight breaks out. Yeah, scrap it out. Still have it. Okay, so you go for your hidey hole spot again, looks like. But yeah, okay. Your Zen was trancing at that moment, so you know for a fact that unless they have an Ana, you are 100% safe for the 4-ish seconds that Zen is using his trance. So you can go ahead, turret up right on the point while Zen is trancing, and even though that's not a good spot, most of the time, because you're trancing and can functionally just do whatever the hell you want while you're in that trance, I would just turret up and try to identify who you can kill from the point, open like that, because you're so far away from all the enemies who are trying to approach you, except for that Hammond, who looks like he's not going to do anything anyway. So yeah, just keep in mind, be aware of your teammates, and just if they are offering you heals on the point, you don't have to use it if you don't think that it'll benefit you, but I think that would have been helpful to position yourself on the point with the trance. Especially since you were already trying to heal yourself, and you just don't need to when there's a trance right there. So yeah, just try to keep that in mind. So this spot can be good if enemies are already on the point and you're relatively far away. Those are two good elements of being right here. But that Ashe knows you're there. And Ashe is actually one of the few characters in this game that can damage you from around corners with her dynamite. So, I will honestly be surprised if she doesn't throw dynamite at you. But it probably won't be enough damage to kill you. Just swinging around doing nothing. Yep, there's the dynamite. So yeah, you want to it's okay. Time and again, it's okay to like turret up in a hole like this, to wait on it because like unless the enemy is again unless the enemy is making a mistake and just like rolls onto the point when they should know that you're there, um, this can work if you have the element of the surprise. If you don't have the element of surprise, this is just not like the best spot that Bastion could be in, especially because that enemy Ashe knows you're there, so she's not going to just unless she's very stupid, she won't step onto the point in front of you. She's just going to bide her time and like wait for you to either get killed by one of her teammates, probably her Roadhog, or do something else, or just throw out her Bob. But yeah, so like you always want to like try to do something. Like D.Va, one of the voice lines when D.Va activates her Matrix is gotta raise my APM. APM stands for actions per minute. So you will get more value out of your gameplay if you are doing as much as you can, even between fights. So right now, like you're just sitting there doing nothing. You're waiting for the fight to happen, but people are already getting picks. Like the fight is happening without you. So you're not helping your team whatsoever. If and then you just finish off a Moira. So just like if you realize that the fight is happening without you, people are getting picked off, like your team or their team. You 9 times out of 10 you need to move and try to like help your team out because you're not helping anyone in the position you're in. Because you're not shooting anybody. And like, see, and that's another frustration here. This spot is so tight with the and then your Roadhog. Oh no! No, you could be killing that D.Va. But like, just I don't want to hammer down too much, but like, there's so little that you can shoot at in this point. Like especially once the walls are up. Only every 14 seconds or so these walls go up, and so the amount of the point that you can shoot as Bastion in this spot is even lower. So yeah, just try to avoid these cubbyhole strats. There's Bob. Your controller dies on you, which sucks. Then I think you just came out to try and contest the point, and then you died. Down the main again. But with the ult, so... Yeah, your highest priority target. Like, with Bastion's ult, so... Bastion is the only DPS hero that has an ult that actually lowers his damage per second. He actually has a higher damage per second in his turret form than his tank form. But what the tank form does is it gives him burst. It gives him burst, like a 200 damage burst every second or so, rather than like a stream of bullets. What that means for you as a Bastion player is when you're ulting, what you want to be shooting is squishies, not tanks. So when you're coming onto point with this ult, especially because he's visoring, you need to kill that soldier. Like, it can be hard sometimes because you're instinctively going to want to shoot the Roadhog because he's a giant target that you can hit easier. But he has 600 HP. It takes 3 shots from Bastion's tank form in order to kill a Roadhog. A much higher priority target here is that soldier that just killed you, especially because he's visoring. When a soldier is visoring and you don't have like a D.Va eating it, or he's in a bad position, like, and he was in a decent position there, you need to kill that soldier. He is priority 1. These scrappy fights, man. These are killing me. Because, like, honestly, like, the positions that you're taking are, like, so, like, unhelpful to you that, like, I can't even properly judge your, like, mechanics and stuff because, like, your positions just, like, don't help you in the slightest. Kitty cat. So it's just something else to keep in mind with your comp right now. Um, always be aware of what the other hero, what your teammates are playing. So right now your healers are Zen and Lucio. This means that you can't have a the heals are there, but they're pretty slow. So you can't expect like a high amount of heals in a short amount of time. So this informs your gameplay in a way that means that if you take damage whatsoever, you want to back out like almost immediately. Because the heals are just not going to be able to out heal the damage that you'll be taking once you're in a line of sight that's taking damage. So just keep that in mind when your when the healing is relatively low. You want to play conservatively. I think Zen Lucio is really underrated because good tank players know how to not take damage. So a Zen Lucio is like is like a dream for a good tank player because the Discord helps him out killing people, and the speed boost lets him avoid lines of sight entirely where they would normally take damage. You got a Roadhog taking steps there. The Roadhog got hacked. See, again, like, ask yourself the two questions. Are you safe, and can you do your job? Like, safety? Absolutely. You are very, very safe. Like, if that Roadhog were to approach you, you would know he's coming, and you could probably unturret and just avoid him entirely. But, the second question, can you do your job? How much of the point can you see here? Like, you know that the enemy team is here, but can you see them? So just make sure to ask yourself these questions when you're playing. See, I think you realize that instinctively and then move. That's a weird translocator position. So now you're functionally on a flank. So you want to make sure that you've used the element of surprise when you're coming from a direction that your enemies won't expect. See, actually, the enemy soldier spots you, and you actually ignore him. You just go straight for the point, and you're walking past an Ash too. Like I will be amazed if you survive this. It kind of just like from third person, that probably just looks like a Bastion who's just like waltzing around inside the enemy team. To like again, like the positions that you want to take as Bastion are long lines of sight that you can shoot, so that you can shoot enemies from a distance from safety. Nice long lines of sight. You can still get shot by characters by like Ash and Soldier, but like they're not an immediate threat. Like Bastion is functionally like it is a very tanky hero, especially when he's turreted because he has Ironclad, which is his passive ability that reduces damage when he's in turret form. So like even if when you take a long line of sight, like a long line, and you're facing down a soldier, and you're in turret form, like you're gonna win that fight because you have 300 HP, you have Ironclad, you have armor, so you have so much damage mitigation. Meanwhile, the soldier is just a 200 HP squishy. You're gonna win that fight if you're in a long line of sight. But if you're close up like this, on this flank here, kind of just waltzing around, and you're right next to an Ashe and a soldier. You're not turreted, and you're immediately taking damage before you even spot anybody and start shooting. Not a favorable condition for you. So just keep that in mind. You want long lines of sight. Basically what the Zen is doing, right here, he's shooting at the point from a safe position. That's basically what you want to do. And he still died somehow, which is so frustrating. So yeah, this your Sombra was kind of fragging, but again, you lost so many teammates. It doesn't add any value to your team by going in right here. You want to just back up and regroup. Like, it can be frustrating because you still have teammates fighting in the point, but sometimes you just have to make the decision to just let them die so that your team can do a full 6v6 again. Just back up as far as you have to in that situation. See, this is a good spot. This is a good spot, but it's a little close. You got a D.Va diving you and a Roadhog staring you down, and you're actually within hook range, so you get hooked and you die. So that's a good angle to take, but you were just a little too close. So like I would have like backed up a little bit. Like the stone wall here would have cut it off, but if you were to engage right here, like this angle isn't terrible, especially if you're just starting off the fight. But yeah, you were just too close basically, and in a very unfavorable time to go in because your team had already died. Your whole team is functionally still in spawn. So like, and the thing about going in alone is you get focused, and you got focused by both of the off tanks. And the melee from the, yep, and then everyone comes in behind you, and they all, that's, goodbye Zen. Yeah, it's just, it can get rough when team fights are staggered and people trickle in one at a time, because then you go in, you die, the Zen went in, he died, staggered out and stuff. So the Reaper went on a flank and popped his ult and got 2 picks, but then he got visored down. That's a pretty good spot. I like this spot because you can see majority of the point. The nature of this point is that you can't ever see the whole point from one angle. So, but this, you got line of sight on like a good 70% of the point right here. So this is actually a very good spot to keep in mind when you're playing Bastion on this point. It's a very good spot. Okay, take a look at what's wrong here. You have all these death indicators of your teammates. You are 3 down, and it was a pretty scrappy fight. I think a lot of the enemy is dead too, but it's safe to say that your team lost. And without like voice chat to confirm the situation, like I would be very hesitant about stepping onto this point when there's so many death indicators here. Yep, there's the Ashe. Yeah, I got the Zen in your back, but oh, and a Lucio. Yep, there's the trance. Okay, so what allowed you to cap here was you had the 2 supports at your back when you were fighting. They kept you alive. The combination of them healing you and the enemy, the lower count of the enemy just trying to split their attention and try to take out their supports is what kept you alive here. That trance probably helped a lot too. But you held out long enough for your teammates to come back. which was good, but also that amount of time allows your enemy to regroup as well and come back. So basically, it was an even fight from start to finish, and basically the reason that you won was because your support ults got popped. Your Zen kept you alive through the trance, kept himself alive, kept everyone on the point alive with the trance, and then your Lucio popped his sound barrier to protect you guys from the Roadhog ult. He even dropped the Discord on him too, so he should get focused down. Yep, there's the trance. Then you pop ult. Just barely missed that. For the record, like, your tracking seems pretty good. Like, especially for this rank. Like, you just the reason that you missed killing that Moira on the first shot because you were tracking her with a projectile weapon rather than your hit scan weapon. That's the only reason that you didn't kill her here. If you were turreted, she would be dead. But the projectile took too long to get it, and so it just barely missed her and only did like half damage. But so your tracking is good when your positioning allows you to use your tracking skills. Pretty decent spot. Like, and at this point, you're just waiting for the enemy to like regroup and come in. Like, there's nothing wrong with like inaction in some situations. Like, the fight isn't happening, so you're just waiting for the fight to happen. So like, when you're waiting for a fight to happen, like, try to be aware where the enemy is going to be coming from. I think you're like checking your flank here. So yeah, you had eyes on where they were approaching, so it's good. And then they're coming up there. Oh, and yep. Unprotected Bastion versus Roadhog. Roadhog in the hook range will probably win every single time. Like, he knows that you're the biggest threat on your team, so he just goes at you by himself and takes you down. Fear Roadhog when you're an unshielded Bastion. Always try to stay out of range of that hook. That hog knows what's up. He knows you're dangerous. You are sometimes just a little slow to react to what happens in the game. Like, this soldier right here. Like, I know for me, like, the second I started getting shot, I would have turned and started shooting at him just to, like, help alleviate the pressure. But you kind of just take a passive attitude about it and just heal and try to get away. Like, fight back. Like, I know that you're just trying to get to the position that you want to be in, but because the soldier shot you, he knows where you're going and stuff. So like, be more proactive and like just putting out damage. Because there was that time when you flanked around in the back too, where it seemed like you were just trying to get to the point to contest, but in the process you walked right past a Ashe and a soldier. So just be more responsive to like people shooting at you, basically. Like, whether that response is repositioning, like pretty much what you were doing here, or shooting back. And that's a very good spot. That's also a very good spot to be in, because the wall helps protect you from any lines of sight in that direction, but you can still shoot down at the point. You can shoot down at every angle on the point except behind that drum. And then you just almost completely melt that Roadhog. And that's kind of the weakness of Bastion in general. Like you trade mobility for sheer damage, but because you have zero mobility, once someone steps behind cover like this Roadhog does, you can't do anything to kill him. Like that's the main. That's why people think Bastion is trash tier in the higher ranks, because like mobility is just so important in Overwatch. Bastion is only used in like very niche situations, because people can just step behind the drum like this and stay alive. They can just avoid the line of sight. So, and that forces you to reposition, get out of turret mode where you're vulnerable, and even actually, in some cases like this situation, get closer to so that those shotguns can hit you in the face. So, like, not critiquing your gameplay or anything, just kind of just how Bastion sits in this game. And then hook range, shotguns you, your Reaper saves you, but there's a soldier. Yeah, the soldier is visoring, and especially with the tank form ult that you have here, that is a good answer to the soldier visor. So you take out the Genji, you immediately need to be taking out the soldier. Luckily, your Lucio, of all people, takes out the soldier. But yeah, you always want to be looking for squishies, not tanks, with the ult. Now, yep, you might know what I'm going to say here. You are waiting for the fight to happen, but the fight is happening over there. That's just another frustration that typically happens with Bastion, because he's so static and the rest of your team is so mobile. See, that's some good tracking right there. Like anyone would have a hard time getting a pick on that Ashe, but especially while you were moving, that's some good tracking. This is such a fantastic angle right here. It's like, see, like you heal up. You might have done this by accident, but yeah, you almost got her. You heal up in cover, in safety, and I guess the Ashe just forgot you were there or something, and you pop your head out, and functionally the whole team is attacking the point at this point. So that is such a good time to poke your head out and just start doing damage. And yep, you get 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic. So like that's another thing about Bastion is timing. Like even though he's static, once he's in turret form, you can still like make sure to like poke your head out and turret up at the right time. So like once you like, if you know that the enemy is about to step on the point, instead of being in turret waiting for them to come, you can hide in cover so they don't know you're there. Then once they step on the point, step out and wreak havoc, like basically what you did here. That's why that worked out so well. And you finished off the Ashe. Nice. So yeah, timing is something that you can really take advantage of with Bastion. And it's functionally like still the same aspect as when you're hiding in a hole. Like it's just, it all relies on the enemy not knowing you're there, and because they don't know you're there, they can't respect you. So you end up just annihilating them. In fact, there's a tech that you can do as Bastion. Instead of so yeah, heal up, turn the corner, and look at them. So the tech that you can do, instead of walking into position and turreting, you can jump. Like I wish I could just show you this, but alas, I'm at work. You can jump out of cover, turret in midair, and land, and that actually gives you a shorter amount of time to turret up from around a corner and surprise people. So I just maybe I can find a video of it. Cool. Yeah, it's not gonna be here, but it's basically when you jump, you still have the momentum from the jump, so you can jump out of cover, turret in midair, and then land, and you're already turreted. It's just a way to get out of cover and get your DPS higher in a faster amount of time. So yeah, there's my review of your gameplay. You have good tracking when your positioning allows you to track enemies, but most of the time you're just not in good enough spots to take full advantage of Bastion. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Take care and peace.